Next on the Broadway show, Vanderpump rocks Chicago. Reality TV star Ariana Madix making her Broadway debut as Roxie Hart. Plus, let's get ready to rumble. We're in the rehearsal studio with the cast of the new musical, The Outsiders. I'm Tamsen Fadal, and this is the Broadway show. It's the Broadway show, and we're back with another big one. I'm Tamsen Fadal. It's another must-see show and another star-studded opening night on Broadway. It's the revival of An Enemy of the People, starring Emmy winners Jeremy Strong and Michael Imperioli. We hit the red carpet with the stars opening night.
I think it's just such a undeniably powerful play that speaks to our time and to the impending ecological and political disasters that we face as a country and a world.
Broadway was one of the few bucket list things I've had. The other was working with Marlon Brando, but that's never going to happen. So Broadway was that theater I went to when I was 18 years old for the first time. I saw a play that John Malkovich directed there. And being there, doing the play in that theater and this play with Sam and Amy and Jeremy and the cast was, that was the one. I'm really glad I waited this long.
I've learned so much from every single person in this cast. And yeah, it's been a thrill working with people that I really admire, and getting to play with each other every night is endlessly fun.
Vanderpump Rules star Ariana Madix is razzle-dazzling right now on Broadway. Fresh off her stint on Dancing with the Stars, Ariana is taking on the role of Roxie Hart in Chicago. We had a chance to chat. That role of Roxie, I mean, how fun is that though? I mean, really, there's
so fun.
Every song, every...
Yeah, it's so much fun. And it's fun, night to night. Sometimes, before my Roxie monologue, we'll just be chatting backstage. And I'm like, I'm gonna think of something like more unhinged to do today.
Why? Just to break it up a little bit?
Yeah, just to keep having fun. And sometimes just depending on like how the audience is, just throw in something a little bit different.
Yeah, what has that been like since the start to now?
I've learned a lot about, I think, what it means to just go out on stage and have fun and be present and listen to, everyone and everything that's going on in that moment, and really enjoy it. And, every night when I leave the theater and I'm about to turn off my dressing room lights, it's very corny, but I always look at the mirror and I'm like, okay, another day in my favorite place on the planet.
If you want to see more of my chat with Ariana and for tickets to Chicago, head over to Broadway.com. A-list Hollywood star Rachel McAdams makes her Broadway debut in Mary Jane, the new play from Pulitzer Prize finalist Amy Herzog.
I mean, I loved the play. I just loved the play. I was like, I haven't done this. Are you sure you want to hire me for this? And they said, we've seen you play a theater actress on TV. I was like, yes, but that's not the same. I think people are going to think a lot about this show and be surprised by it. So there's a spareness to the play, but it's so full. It's got both things going for it.
Grab Your Tissues, a musical adaptation of Nicholas Sparks' The Notebook, is now on Broadway. It features music and lyrics by singer-songwriter Ingrid Michaelson, and it's just as romantic as ever. We hit the red carpet with the stars opening night.
I think it's so moving, and it's more than a love story, which I think people are expecting. It's really a story of like life and loss and the whole human experience. And I've been drawn to it since I heard the music like 4 or 5 years ago now. And so I'm really, really thankful to be here.
I love the message that it tells about choosing what's right for you, no matter what circumstances may try to convince you otherwise. I love the people that I do this show with. I love the material of the show, and I love the dress. I like the way I look look and the dress. It's nice.
I come from a world where I'm singing everything that I write, and I'm the one up there. And to see other humans metabolize your words and your melodies and then make them their own, it's otherworldly for me.
Baby Jordan would have not even dared to dream that she'd be singing Ingrid Michaelson's music. I listened to her on the radio, you know, I would pick up melodies just from hearing them on the radio, and it's just wild.
Let's get ready to rumble. The Outsiders now on Broadway and unlike anything you've seen before. Let's send it out to Paul Wontorek.
The Outsiders. Love this story. The number one thing that I knew going into The Outsiders that there would be a rumble.
Yes.
Obviously, we have seen rumbles on
Yes.
Broadway. There's a very famous rumble in West Side Story. This rumble, very different. So talk a little bit about how you approached the challenge of that.
Yes, so the script of our musical has amazing stage directions because Adam Rapp wrote them. And the stage direction of the rumble is one of the most visceral, clear, powerful stage directions I've read. And it's violence and it's tenderness and all of these things, and also the elemental nature. In his stage direction, it says it's raining, they get muddy. When I came onto the project, I was like, who's the right people to work on with this? And during the pandemic, I had met Rick and Jeff Kuperman. And I'd seen their work, and I remember when I saw their work before, I felt that it was sensual. And not just in like a sexual kind of way, but it mean that it evoked all the senses. And I wanted whoever did the violence to also do all the choreography so that the physical language could be one language. So you don't feel like, oh, they're dancing, now they're fighting. It's all the way the kids move through the piece.
1 and 2, 3, up, 4.
What's it like building the rumble?
Fight choreography for me, it's kind of like, if it's not just right, kind of takes you out. And if it's too good, for me, I'm like, how do they do that? And it takes me out even in that way. So when we were thinking about the rumble, we were like, how do we not focus on, trying to trick the audience into making sure that it looks real, but focusing on the impact of the rumble.
Because of the individuality and the sort of three-dimensionality of all of the performers on that stage, what we've tried to do in phase one, what we call phase one of the rumble, is to craft very specific narratives between all of these characters. We almost describe it as kind of a Bosch-like painting, that if you zoom out and see the totality of the chaos happening in phase one, that is one experience, but you can also kind of zoom in and pay attention to any duet or trio and see a fully fleshed out, crafted fight. So that's the first part of the rumble, and then it develops into something more expressionistic and more stylistic and a little bit more heightened.
For the characters on stage, it is a life or death moment.
Yeah.
What do you want audiences to feel?
I'm sure it will bring up different things for different people, but it does create emotions. The whole show does, and especially this. The rumble is real, but the whole piece is being told from Ponyboy's perspective. It's a memory play. He's remembering it. So there's aspects of the rumble that go into quite like a nightmarish place. What you see in the rehearsal room is the building blocks, but when you come to the theater, there's fire, real fire, there's smoke, there's rain, there's mud, bodies really doing this incredible virtuosic physical act in front of you. So there actually is not anything else like it. And I do think it needs to be witnessed, and you'll be close to it. It won't be like seeing something on a screen. It will be deeply felt.
5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8.
I think what's unique about the rumble is that it has to be experienced in its totality. The way it's designed is that it moves from strict naturalism through to this very expressive theatrical vocabulary, and that ramp itself is what we feel makes the rumble special.
You need to sit there in the audience, you need to feel the sound of the rumble resonate in your chest. You need to see the sweat and the rain fly off the bodies. There's no substitute to being in that theater and having that experience.
For tickets and more info, head over to Broadway.com. This is The Broadway Show, and we're back in just a few. The first ever Broadway revival of Doubt, a Parable, is now open on Broadway with Amy Ryan and Liev Schreiber. Doubt won the Tony and Pulitzer 2 decades ago. We got to know award-winning playwright John Patrick Shanley.
When I did the play originally, the world around me, the New York City and America in general, were in a much more complacent time. And so I was in the minority in feeling deeply uneasy. And now the whole audience walks in deeply uneasy and they are comforted by the play. Whereas the first time they were probably more disturbed by it. This time they're like, I know what you're talking about, brother.
Aladdin celebrating a decade on Broadway, 10 years and going strong at the New Amsterdam Theater. Let's send it out to Beth Stevens.
Thanks, Tamsen. We are at the home of composer Alan Menken, the EGOT winner behind such hits as Little Shop of Horrors, Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid, Pocahontas, Newsies, and Aladdin, which is celebrating 10 years on Broadway. Well, I want to congratulate you on 10 years of Aladdin, which I hear will now be the 15th longest running Broadway show of all time.
Wow, okay.
How does that feel for you?
It feels great. You don't ever want to go into one of these things with expectations about how long it will run or what it will, it will do. You just want to please an audience. But years have passed and we're still there.
So tell me the Aladdin origin story.
Aladdin, as an animated, actually, we were working on that almost at the same time as Little Mermaid. We developed it as a buddy picture. It was about Aladdin and his 3 sidekicks. And there was, the love interest, but it was more like, the Hope Crosby Road pictures. Bob Hope and Bing Crosby, for those who don't know, I realize different generation,
yeah, right.
The road pictures. And it was very irreverent. They said, you know what, let's go back into development with this and let's move forward with Beauty and the Beast. So Aladdin retreated, Beauty came forward, and then finally we came back to Aladdin. And by the time we came back to Aladdin, Howard was quite sick. And he actually passed away before we could finish it. Tim Rice was brought on and we finished it together.
Don't you dare close your eyes. Hold your breath, it gets better.
Did it feel for you like there could be a seamlessness between the lyrics so that it all felt one piece, one show?
The biggest thing when we came to Broadway was the movie evolved from a buddy picture into a romance. I wanted to bring back the songs that Howard and I had written for the original as much as possible.
Were there many cut songs? Did you have a trunk of songs?
Oh yeah. Babcock and Bar, Aladdin, Kasim, High Adventure, Proud of Your Boy. Proud of your boy. I'll make you proud of your boy. Believe me, bad as I've been, ma, you're in for a pleasant surprise. I've wasted time.
What were the musical inspirations behind Aladdin?
We started with Little Shop of Horrors, really looked for interesting, surprising musical genres that would give a whole other point of view to the storytelling. And so it's a real amalgam of Harlem jazz, Hollywood, pictures, Broadway, and Middle Eastern all together, and it's a package that seems to work. Then I'll say, Mr. Aladdin, sir, what will your pleasure be? Let me take you on the Chinatown. You ain't never had a friend like me.
If you like what you just saw, there is an exclusive extended web version of this interview over at Broadway.com. The Broadway Show is back in just a sec. It's 300 years of Broadway all in one place, and right now the Queens of Six are in the spotlight at the Museum of Broadway. We want to invite you to check out the museum's special Six exhibit featuring costumes, props, fan art, and more. But right now, we also want to give you a special backstage tour at Six, the musical.
Hi, I'm Olivia Donaldson from Six Anna of Cleves, and you're watching The Broadway Show. Now I'm gonna take you backstage to my Broadway show. Okay, I wanted to show you all some of my costume pieces. Like this, these are my shorts. There's chains. It's just red and spiky and sparkly, and then this jacket. Ugh. This jacket I am obsessed with this jacket. Sometimes some of the girls have to touch my shoulders and they will get like a spike, like maybe a little scratch. But it's a scratch of love because wow, why is it so heavy? You know, I didn't realize it until I was holding it in my hands and I was like, how do I wear this every day? And some of the other girls, like Aragon's costume, I think it's maybe 15 pounds on top of her jumping and dancing and like, so, you know, we're little athletes here, okay? Everybody, this is Storm Lever. She plays Anne Boleyn. Y'all's space is so pretty. I love.
Oh yeah, we've got some great fan art. You have stuff from tour. We have stuff from the Broadway production. It's nice to collect, you know, all these different like little pieces of the queendom of people getting to see the show and then having our art inspire their art is always just like such a great little touch.
This is my favorite part, especially at the end of the week. Right now we're still at the beginning of the week, but I just love like signing my name and then at the end of the week when we see that it's all done, I feel so happy. This is our hair team. We've got Colleen and Justin. Hello. Okay, I hope that you can see this. This is my wig. Some people don't even know that we wear wigs because they look so phenomenal, so seamless. So thank you. I absolutely love my part in the show. You'll have to come see it to know exactly what I'm talking about. But I get to come up here and be right here, center stage at the top, and it is so special. Dreams come true, 100%. I cannot believe I'm in 6. I'm a star on Broadway? What?
Takes a whole lot of people to keep a Broadway show running, from the stars on stage to the orchestra in the pit and all the people behind the scenes whose names you don't always see in the playbill. Our man Perry is on the town.
Guys, we are now inside the Richard Rodgers with the house manager, Tim Petalina. Tim, thank you so much for the time today, especially on a busy 2-show day.
My pleasure. Welcome.
Of all the positions in theater, house manager might be the one I'm the most unclear about. What exactly are your duties? What is your day-to-day?
Well, basically, I run the front of house. So I do a lot of payroll, I do a lot of accounting, I deal with all of the customer service problems and also with the staff. You know, also anytime there's any issues with plumbing or any kind of emergency situations with the building itself, the dressing rooms, we have to make sure that everything is taken care of and we have to call in any kind of workers to come in. So you're basically running the building, making sure everything is smooth for every show, 8 shows a week.
So almost like a superintendent of sorts of the theater.
Yeah, but then you get to meet famous people.
Now, Tim, I know we are getting close to showtime.
Yes, we are.
So I heard you have some duties we got to complete.
That's right. We have to make sure that these chairs are set up because if we have any wheelchairs, right, we have to have them be able to move out. So I see that we had a matinee today, so I have to rearrange some things, but we have to make sure we have the right amount of chairs here. Okay, and you can see they're setting up, they're doing preset on the stage,
yeah.
So we got all
Everybody's
the
getting ready.
fun sound effects. Yeah, and then we're gonna go up to the mezzanine. First, we're gonna check the box seats as well.
Yeah, so what exactly are we checking when you say check the box?
So we're making sure that the seats are in the correct order. So you have number 1 is closest to the stage, number 2 is in the middle, number 3 is furthest from the stage. So because when they sell the tickets, they tell the customers, this is closest to the stage, this is furthest from the stage. Otherwise, people sometimes try to move them around because they want a better view. So now we're gonna check all the fire exits. Right, make sure everything is the way it's supposed to be. Just making sure
they're closed, or?
And that they're free of any obstructions.
Oh, that's good. It's good to know someone checks that.
As you could see, we have a beautiful theater we renovated 10 years ago, back to the original detail. You could see the dome.
Does that complete the walkthrough?
That's pretty much it, yeah. And then I wait for the stage managers to tell me when the stage is ready, and then we tell the house to open.
So Tim, you're right here. We're right on 46th Street, right in the heart of Broadway. But I got to ask, what does Broadway mean to you?
Oh gosh, well, you know, ever since I was 4 years old, my parents took me to Broadway. So I always loved it, and I loved being a part of any production I could. So basically, it's been my whole life.
We're rolling out a new vlog over at Broadway.com, courtesy of the star of Water for Elephants, Isabel McCullough. Check out this preview.
I've been up, I've been down, Feel like I move mountains.
Fun.
Tommy?
Yep. Tommy turns. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
All right, our own Izzy McCalla. Oh my God, it's perfect.
And that's going to do it for us. But for tickets, or if you want to check out extended cuts of all these interviews, head over to Broadway.com. I'm Tamsen Fadal, and this is The Broadway Show.